All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us in this Open Security Summit training sessions. So we are joined by Bjoern Kimminich, and we'll have a session in OWASP Shop deep dive theming. All right, so I'm going to show you my welcome deck right now. So welcome to this Open Security Summit 2020 session, and all sessions at this Security Summit 2020 are live streamed or recorded and shared for public use. So it's available in the YouTube channel of Open Security Summit. I'm going to give you the link later. And we want you to be involved and share with your network. I'm going to give you also the hashtag for today. And so you can join via Zoom links on the Open Security Summit site. And there are 3 ways to join, like going to the schedule. Then these are the 3 ways in the screen, if you can see, or you can go click on the session and click on the watch using Zoom. Then it will go go directly to the Zoom session, just like now. Okay, all right. So we have amazing tracks to discuss this week's summit session. We have the CISO and risk management. Under that are the sessions, cloud security track, content, disarm and reconstruction track, the COVID, DevSecOps, dynamic sessions, and the ISG, lightning talks, miscellaneous track, OWASP ASBS, OWASP Shop, wherein this is the track of our session for today. OWASP projects, social, threat modeling, Wardley maps, and yes, and we're doing those sessions every day from 10:30 a.m. till 10 p.m. So you can choose whatever sessions you want to, but we're going to be happy if you're going to attend all of the sessions. Well, this is the schedule look likes in the website. If you click on the schedule page, this is what you can see. So in this session, we expect openness and respect for each other. So sessions will be video recorded. Sometimes it will be live streamed. But right now, the live streaming is not working, so we're just going to record it, and then we're going to share it on social media, like YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn account. So if you don't want to be identified, please take personal precautions, such as not activating your video or using any as your name during the session. So everything created at the summit is released under a CC, an open source license. All right? So you at the summit, we expect you to participate. You can ask questions as freely as you can, and we want you to care deeply on this session. And we expect mutual respect for each other. And we expect everyone to challenge directly. Be solution focused then. And so if you have anything to ask or anything to clarify, please don't hesitate to nudge me, nudge the organizer, or you can just send it to the chat if you're shy, and I'm going to look over it and I'm going to send it to the organizer if he didn't see it. All right? And we are all here to collaborate on topics we have chosen as a community, and so no one should be discriminated or harassed based on your race, based on your gender, based on your age, religion, or appearance, or even being inexperienced, or anything else. So we are all expected to preserve a certain level of professionalism and respect. And so if you feel like any kind of abusive behavior against yourself or anyone else during the summit, please report to one of the organizers, or you can report it to me, or to anyone in the summit, in the Open Security Summit. So it can be handled and prevented from future occurrence. All right. So our hashtag for today is hashtag OSS 2020. And if you're not invited to our Slack channel yet, I'm going to send you the Slack invite in the chat, and you can click on that and be on our channel. All right. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Let's welcome our organizer, Bjoern Kimminich, and we'll have a session in OWASP Juice Shop Deep Dive Filming. Sorry for the pronunciation of the name, so hard.
No problem. That was fine. Thanks. So welcome also from my side. Before I start sharing my screen and we dive into the topic, if you have any questions or if you think I'm going too fast or there's something you would like to get clarified, I think the easiest is if you just ask. Maybe, I mean, with the number of participants, it should be okay. So you can just unmute and ask your question. That's totally fine. If you want to send it to the chat, I won't be able to read it because I will be working most of the time on my outside Zoom, basically. So then Alona will actually pick up the chat messages and ask those. But it's much easier if you just ask it directly. Okay, so let me share my screen. So if you can see my screen, just give me a hint, please.
Yep, we can see you.
Great. Yeah. Okay, so then welcome to the first deep dive session of today's Juice Shop track. And this one is about theming. Yeah, my name is Bjoern Kimminich. I'm the project lead of the OWASP Juice Shop, and I'm really happy to go through with you together into a workshop here where we will do a full UI conversion of the Juice Shop actually. So I'm assuming that you know the Juice Shop basically. So there were 2 training sessions where we basically explained how the Juice Shop works and what it actually is. So we won't cover these basics right now. If you miss those, you can still follow. That should not be a problem, but maybe you want to rewatch one of the introductions then later on. So the workshop will be happening in very small steps. You can follow along if you want yourself, basically. So you can reproduce all the steps that we are doing here or that I'm doing here, or you can just watch. Both is totally fine. So why create a theme of the Juice Shop in the first place? So if you know the Juice Shop, you might know that it's actually, it doesn't look that bad, I guess. It has lots of interesting products, mostly related around, well, juice, obviously, but also some merchandise products of the project itself, etc., etc. So why would you want to make it look different? So there's different reasons why you actually would want to do that. First of all, the default theme itself might just not resonate with your audience. That, well, people might not like the dark layout or might not like the product at all, for example. And one thing that actually was the reason for making the Juice Shop customizable and making it possible to change its look and feel and its array of products was that if you do an awareness training in a company, in most cases, it's a lot easier for people to follow and to understand what you're telling them and what you're trying to explain to them when it looks like an application that actually came from that company, right? So it's the immersion is much higher because it feels like it's something that you actually might have written for your own company. And this is especially true if you present to, let's say, the less technical staff and especially also to higher management levels, right? So it's a lot easier if it looks like you are, if it has your company look and feel, than to just show this arbitrary black, gray with funny, juicy products thing, right? Software developers and other technical staff, they typically get it and they can make this distinction quite easily and still get the underlying points. But especially with management trainings, I had very good experience in using a theme that resonates better with them. Also, some of the products in the juice shop have a little bit of, let's say, not so subtle humor inside. Also, some of the reviews that customers made might be a little bit rude sometimes. And let's say in very traditional or regulated enterprises, that might not be so well fitting. So you can basically just remove that if you want. And one additional reason why you would want to make the juice shop look different is you might use it, for example, in a competitive tournament or like in a CTF event or something like that. And you want to prevent that people immediately realize, this is the juice shop, and then they just Google for solutions, because by now there are lots of video tutorials, online solutions, and everything for the juice shop. So it's quite easy to actually find help online and then to cheat in such events. So the juice shop itself comes with a lot of sample themes already. And most of them actually do full conversions of the user interface and the products already. So there's one for the 7-minute security podcast, which was actually one of the first podcasts to pick up on the juice shop and have it basically covered before it was even famous. Mozilla actually did a Capture the Flag event at one of their on-site events some years ago. And they actually did a CTF and wanted to completely hide the fact that this is the juice shop. So they made this CTF theme for themselves, and it looks then like a Mozilla merchandise shop. For last year's all-day DevOps, I made a full conversion into a theme that looks like it would match that event. It's called All-Day DevFlops. And then we have also one that is not so sophisticated, but it's still quite fun. It's representing, or it's emulating kind of the look and feel of the old budget store, which was one of the, let's say, predecessor themes in the config folder in the juice shop repository. So, and you can use them for getting ideas and on what you could actually configure. And the whole configuration and theming part of the juice shop is detailed, is specified and documented in quite a lot of detail in the customization section of the ebook, which you can read online following this link. I will just quickly show you how that looks. So this is basically an entire chapter just on customization. And if I just scroll through, you can see it's quite extensive, right? So basically what we will do today is we will cover parts of the things you can actually customize in the juice shop in a small step-by-step approach. And in the end, we should have a pretty nice new custom theme. And the custom theme we want to create today, obviously, is one for the Open Security Summit, right? So we start with the basic look and feel of the juice shop. And if we actually make it in time, then we will, over the course of 17 small increments, end up with a theme that then looks like a shop belonging to the Open Security Summit. If you want to just watch me doing that, that's totally fine. If you want to follow along, then you need basically two things. First of all, you need a juice shop running locally on your computer. You can just clone the repository and launch it. So that's basically all you have to do on the juice shop side. You just need a running instance of the juice shop for now. And you probably want to take a look at the 17 small increments that I prepared, which are on the Open Security Summit GitHub repo. I will just quickly show you where you can find them. If you are on the main page here, if you go into Content, Outcomes, there's a subfolder for this deep dive theming session, and there you find the small increments of the configuration file that we will now create together. Okay, so that's basically what you need. So you need access to these files, and you need a running juice shop instance, and then you can easily replicate what I'm just doing right now. Okay, good. Any questions so far? No, seems not like it. So then let's start with this with the first basically small step. What you see here is the juice shop in its default look and feel, right? So it's completely, there's nothing configured yet. This is the complete default. And if you start the juice shop, you will always be greeted by this friendly welcome banner here. We don't want to dismiss it permanently for now. We just click somewhere and it will be hidden. And you can see all the usual juice shop products, right? You see everything that the juice shop basically comes with by default, including links to its Twitter, Facebook, Slack, and so on and so on. So everything looks very much like you would expect by default. So we will start now configuring the juice shop, and the way the juice shop loads its configuration is via config files. And you find these in the juice shop when you checked out the repository, or when you clone the repository, there's a subfolder config, and that contains all the different configuration files. And the one that the juice shop is actually using is the default YAML file. And just scrolling through it, you will see that it's quite extensive, right? So it's over 350 lines of YAML configuration. In this workshop, we will not create such an extensive file, of course, but we will override a lot of stuff. So what I created as well is an empty OSS YAML file, right? So this will become our theme configuration for this workshop. So the nice thing about this whole mechanism is that by default, if you don't specify a configuration that you want, it's always loading this one. So the juice shop is always using the same configuration mechanism via these YAML files for its own default theme, but for all custom themes as well. And the nice thing is that if you want to, you can override only certain aspects that you're interested in your own configuration, and all the rest will still be taken from the default file, which makes it very easy to configure the juice shop in any way you want in an incremental way, right? So what we could actually start with, if we look at the juice shop again, it tells you its name right up here, and it shows you the lovely juice shop logo. So if we want to have an Open Security Summit theme, we might actually want to have a different name and a different logo, right? So let me just get rid of this. Okay, so how can we get the logo? So the thing is, if you launch the juice shop in its default way, it will just come with the required logos and other photos and images, and it will just load them locally. But I don't know if you create a custom theme where to find your logos, right? So they are not part of the juice shop package. And the good thing is you don't have to put them into some folder. You just have to specify where they need to be downloaded from. So if we, for example, want to use this logo here, then we can just open it up, and we just need to grab this URL here, and then we can tell the juice shop to just download it and use it as a logo. Okay, so if we start our configuration with an application set, we can specify the logo and just give it this URL here, right? So that's the only thing that we start with, for example. And if you look here in the default configuration, the application logo of the Juice Shop is just a local image. But in this case, we give it a URL. So now if I restart my Juice Shop instance, I need to tell it what configuration to load. And this is done via the parameter node_env. So I just have to tell it, okay, please set the environment variable node_env to OSS, and then start the server. And then we can wait for a bit. It should be up pretty quickly. And if we go back to my local Juice Shop installations and refresh the page, we now see that the Open Security Summit logo is being loaded, right? And it's not loaded dynamically from that URL that we specified, but it's downloaded into the folder of the web server, so to say, and is then loaded locally afterwards, right? So it's only downloaded once. It's not on every refresh you're downloading the logo again. So now another thing we actually want is, of course, a proper name. And I will just go over here. This is basically the first increment of the configuration, right? Where I have specified an application name and this logo. And I will just copy that over here now. And when I restart the server once again, we will, after it's up, have the Open Security Summit store instead of the Juice Shop, right? As it says right here. So now, if we look at this lovely welcome banner here, it still says welcome to OWASP Juice Shop, right? And it gives us a lovely introduction text about the Juice Shop. Well, actually, that's not exactly what we want to see if we want to pretend that this is an Open Security Summit store. So we could actually override the contents of this welcome banner with something that we actually want to provide instead of the default text. And this is what you can find here in the second step. So it still has the name and the logo, and then there's a subsection for the welcome banner. And you can specify the title, and you can specify the message, which can be any HTML that you want. And if I take this prepared part over here, and start the server again, wait for it to start up, then do a refresh. You will now see that the welcome message is greetings from the Open Security Summit 2020. This is an OWASP Juice Shop custom theme created at the Open Security Summit 2020 with a link to the session on the website, right? So that's nice. But let's assume that we actually would want to use this Open Security Summit theme for, let's say, for a security awareness training with the members of the Open Security Summit, right? So do we really want to show them this kind of pop-up banner all the time that they actually start this application? That kind of gets a little bit annoying, right? So every participant actually would have to dismiss it manually. Then it wouldn't show up in future refreshes of the application. But we can also just outright prevent it from showing up like ever, right? So it's quite simple to, instead of overwriting the text of the welcome banner, we can just turn it off, right? So we just tell it show on first start false. And now whenever we start the Juice Shop again, this banner will not show up anymore. Okay, so let's try that. Let's refresh. And no welcome banner anymore. Okay, great. So, well, let's see. Now, the thing is, we have now the name we want and the logo, and we are not obstructed by this banner anymore. But this whole color scheme here doesn't really look like the Open Security Summit, right? So if we take a look at the website, it's more white background and bluish theme, right? It's not this kind of dark layout that we have in the Juice Shop. And well, luckily, the Juice Shop has different color themes that it actually supports. So if we scroll through the documentation, this is a list of the color themes that come with the Juice Shop. The default one looks like this. That's the one we all know. But there are also others with white background, different header colors, two other ones with dark background, etc. So we can actually just override the theme with something that, let's say, matches closest to what the Open Security Summit website looks like. And I would propose to just go with the blue, light blue scheme here, or theme, right? Because that is kind of okay for the purpose, I guess. So let's override that. Theme, blue, light blue. Okay. I'm in the wrong file. That wouldn't work. So I need to do it here, of course. So this is the file in the Juice Shop folder, right? And this is, of course, where I have to do my changes if I want something to happen. So let's see how it looks like when we start it again. Let's refresh. Well, that looks a bit closer to the Open Security Summit page, right? Except for the cookie banner down here. So that is now looking a little bit out of place. I mean, it's not that bad, but it could be better. Also, the banner text is really still, it's also still pointing to or still referring to some Jews references. So that might not be the thing that we actually want for the Security Summit. So if we take a look at the default configuration of the Juice Shop, there is actually a complete section for the cookie consent, where you can specify a background color, text color, button text. You can actually specify the message that is being shown and the text for the buttons and the link where you want to be sent to. So actually, just to show how that works, the default link for the Juice Shop. Sorry, clicked the wrong one. So the default link will actually send you to a lovely YouTube video here, right? Where the Cookie Monster will sing some lovely song. I guess you can't hear that right now because my audio is not shared, but never mind. So this is Cookie Monster. But we might actually not want to have that video for the summit, right? So let's change that whole configuration. And the good thing is you can basically always, if you want to create your own custom theme, you can just start by copying things from the original Juice Shop theme and then just play around with the settings, right? So that's basically what I did with these intermediate steps here. So I have created a configuration where the background color and text color, etc., are already set to something reasonable, and the text and all the rest is also a little bit changed to better match the Open Security Summit background story, so to say. So let's see how that looks. If you're asking yourself, why does the cookie banner not just take the same color scheme that you specify in this theme property here, that's because the theme is applied to the whole Angular front end part of the Juice Shop, but the cookie banner is not part of that, right? So the cookie banner is basically on top of that and is served in a very basic way directly from the index page. So there's no chance for Angular to pick it up and actually apply some color scheme. So you have to do that manually with individual settings here. So let's take a look. Wow, now this is the actual blue of the blue color of the summit page. We have actually changed the text a bit, and because I mean my idea is once the session recording is live on YouTube, I could actually add that as a YouTube link here just for fun. As long as it's not live, this is obviously just this one, right? And lucky for you, you don't have sound right now, I guess. So, but this is basically the way to override the whole cookie banner. So now we can close it and it shouldn't show up anymore. Okay, so well, we covered some ground already. The Juice Shop actually has this lovely About Us page where you can read some interesting text about the company. This can actually not be changed, so this is just always a lorem ipsum text. But what you can find down here is links to all kinds of social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, and if you look at the bottom left, you can see this is all Juice Shop or OWASP related links, right? So, and of course, for the Open Security Summit, we would actually like to have our own links there. So taking a look at the default configuration, there's this social block here, which contains all the URLs for these buttons down there. And we can now just override these with our own. Now, the thing is, the Open Security Summit has a Twitter URL. It also has a Slack channel, but it has neither a Reddit URL. I also didn't find a press kit and also no actual questionnaire that I want to link to right now. So the nice thing about YAML, I mean, if you don't specify those values, it would just keep the ones from the Juice Shop, right? But you can override values the Juice Shop sets with null quite easily to basically remove them completely. And this looks like this. So we only specify the Twitter channel and the Slack channel or the Slack invite URL, but we set the Facebook, Reddit, and PressKit URLs to 0 or to null actually, which is represented by this tilde character. So let's put that here in the OSS theme. And let's see if that actually works. There we go. And now after the refresh, we only see 2 buttons for the Twitter and the Slack channel, right? So if you want to have no buttons at all, that's also fine. If I'm not mistaken, if you turn, we can try that actually. If you turn off all the social media accounts, I think this whole section here should actually be hidden. Let's just try that for fun, because if that's not how it behaves, that should actually be fixed, but I think it is. So if I turn off all the social media links, let's see what happens. Let's refresh. And there you go. No social media section at all, right? So that, I guess that makes sense. Good. So, what else? So let's get this back and let's take a look at the next part. Yes. Okay. So if we stay on this page for a while longer, and if you just watch this gallery of images flowing by, you can see seems to be some kind of feedback, and it always in parents says who the author was. And here you notice some email address at juice-sh.op. So that's some juice shop related made up email address, right? So actually we wouldn't really want that to show in our Open Security Summit theme, right? It would be nice if it showed some email address that actually belongs to the summit, or at least looks like it could belong to the summit. There's also another place where you can find some email. If I log into the application, let's just use the demo account for now, and you visit the privacy and security section, if you read the privacy policy, well, first of all, you get a hacking challenge solved because nobody actually reads the privacy policy. So we kind of incentivize you to actually do that. So here's a challenge success notification for you. If we scroll down the privacy policy, we also find an email address down here, right? So the contact us page is, okay, please write to do not reply at OWASP Juice Shop. So both these email addresses we actually don't want to have in our Open Security Summit theme. We want some that match the idea of this being an Open Security Summit site. So that's why we have this as our next iteration. So we can override the domain that is being used for all email addresses in the Juice Shop, and these are the addresses by the default users which are present in the Juice Shop already. So instead of juice-sh.op, we will use something crazy like this and hope that this is not actually a real existing URL. And for the privacy contact email, we will just use this one, right? So let's put that into our configuration, right? So here we go. And let's see if that actually is applied correctly. So if we refresh, well, first of all, we will get some notification again here about solving this challenge, and it seems that's duplicated for some reason. And also we get this notification about the server being restarted. But the interesting question is, do we have the right email address down here? And it seems we do, right? Also, if we go to the About Us page, we will now also see the right email domain down here, right? So that's good. So what else could we try to fix? Well, we already changed the logo successfully. What we didn't change yet on the top here is the fav icon, right? So the little icon in the tab is not the one we actually would want to have. So again, overwriting this with a URL, the Juice Shop will just download the file behind that URL and will apply it to this icon location here. So what we could actually try to do is just use the icon of the Open Security Summit itself, right? So, and just basically just grab it and then use it inside the juice shop. I already did that, as you can see here. So I looked up the file location of the icon for the Open Security Summit, which is this one. So if we paste that over here and restart the server again, we should, after a refresh, come on, we should actually see the Open Security Summit icon, right? Great. So that doesn't look so bad at all. So looks quite convincing, except for there's one thing that is actually a little bit annoying, to be honest. So if we let me just I will just keep this page open and we'll restart the server once more, but not refresh it. And then let's see if something happens. So here we go. And you can see down here this notification popping up, right? Telling us, hey, you solved a challenge because I already visited this privacy policy. And you always get this message on the top here as well that tells you, okay, hey, your server has been restarted. If you want to delete your progress, click this button. So if you imagine that we would actually start solving more and more hacking challenges, then on every restart of the juice shop, we would always get this array of messages popping up. That might not be what you actually want, especially if we want to use this theme not for actual hacker trainings, but more for awareness sessions with managers and maybe non-IT people, right? So it would be nice to have a chance to actually get rid of these messages here, so that they don't pop up every time when you hack something, and also they don't pop up when you restart your server. Luckily, that's quite easily possible. So you can turn off these challenge solved notifications by setting this property under the challenges config block. So if we copy that over to our juice shop config and restart the server again, we will now see that something went wrong. What's that? So the lovely config schema validation message that always said, yeah, everything is okay, is now telling us that it's not okay because we have one validation error in our config. And the complaint is that the application.challenges key is not present in the schema of the configuration file. Seems I made a little mistake here. So let's just take a look at the default config to compare that with. So we have this application block here, and that contains all kinds of stuff. And then at the same level as application, we have a challenges block. Okay, but I accidentally, question mark, put this challenges block inside the application block. Okay, so my mistake. So basically I broke the indentation. So this is how it should look like, right? So let's see. And it's actually pretty nice that the juice shop is telling you this, right? So it's actually trying to help you that you don't create broken configurations as much as possible. So now the configuration is valid again, and I didn't change I didn't refresh the screen or anything here, you still see this notification that is always showing up if once your server has been restarted, but you see that this notification for the visiting the privacy policy is now gone, right? And I can prove that no further notifications show up. Just for example, if we visit the scoreboard page of the Juice Shop and we haven't visited that before, this will also solve a challenge. And as you can see, once it's loaded, let's give it a bit to load. You can see down here in the server log that the challenge, hey, find the scoreboard, has been solved, but there's no pop-up notification here, right? So, and that's the same for all the hacking challenges. So if we would do some cross-site scripting or SQL injection or whatever, it will not tell us on the screen that we actually did something to solve a challenge. That setting is only useful for pure awareness trainings, right? Where you do some demo of vulnerabilities in web applications, but you don't turn this off in regular trainings, because then you actually want people to see what they did right and what challenges they solved, right? So that would be more confusing if you turn that off in regular training setups. Okay, so we have fixed the schema now. Now there's let's say the big thing that is still really not matching the idea of having an Open Security Summit store is the fact that all the products here are Juice Shop related, right? I mean, this is all the default Juice Shop products. It's with a white background color now, but otherwise there's nothing from the Open Security Summit here yet. But luckily, you can override the products completely to your own liking. So, and I've created one simple configuration where I just create one single product. So you can define this whole products array yourself, and then you can specify as many products as you want. And because I already have one of these lovely Summit mugs. Delicious. So that's the first product I wanted to have in our custom theme as well, right? So the lockdown edition animal mug, and it costs 13 currency, whatever. Juice Shop is not very specific about that. It has a description and it has an image, and the image actually comes again from the real merchandise store. And I will just show you how I did this. So if you are on the Open Security Summit website, there's a merchandise link that will send you over here, right? Lots of interesting products. And I basically just did open image in new tab. And I just pasted this URL into the image property for the new product in the Juice Shop, right? So it will then download this image and use it directly. So that's nice. So let's see how that works now. So we have, we take this configuration with our mug product and paste it over here. Restart the server again. And we would expect that we now see our shop page offering just the single mug, but unfortunately, instead we get a couple of configuration errors. This is telling us quite nicely what we did wrong here. So first of all, it says, okay, you only have one product, but you need at least 4 in the store. Why do you need at least 4? Because 4 different products need to be configured for some of the hacking challenges. So there's a Christmas challenge, there's a product tampering challenge, a blueprint file retrieval challenge, and a paste bin leak challenge. So all these challenges would now no longer work with this configuration. Okay, because my whole list of products now consists only of one mark, and no products are properly configured to support these hacking challenges. If I go into the default configuration of the juice shop and scroll through it a bit, you can see that there are some products with additional properties, like this one, the OWASP project, the OWASP product. It has this property for product tampering challenge. This Christmas super surprise box has another property for this Christmas challenge. There's something for pastebin data leak challenge, etc., right? So my recommendation is, if you want to create your own fully configured custom theme, you should just in the first approach, just use the juice shop products that are configured for these special challenges. So I did this with this configuration here. So here I basically have my mug that I wanted to add, right? But then I added those 4 products which are needed for these challenges, and I did not change them at all yet, right? We can configure them later, right? But first of all, I just copied them over from the juice shop. And the thing is, I told you that if you override a property, if you don't override a property in this config file, it will just fall back to the default from the juice shop config. But by overwriting this products array here with an array of only length 1 with this single product, we basically override all the required default products too. So, and the easiest way to get them back is to just manually add them back into the array, right? For starters, because this way we will ensure that our configuration is valid, and we can then continue working on customizing these challenges so they actually fit better into this whole Open Security Summit idea. So let's use this config then and see if that is now valid again. That looks good. So if I refresh, I will see the mug as expected, right? With its description here, with the image and everything. And I see 2 of the products which I copied over from the original juice shop config. The other 2 I'm not seeing because they are deleted products, right? So they don't exist anymore. Or do they? So the Christmas super surprise box, right? It's from 2014. It shouldn't be visible in the shop any longer. And if you specify this property here on a product, that's basically when the juice shop starts, it will automatically delete this product, of course, in a bad way, so you can still order it and solve the hacking challenge by doing so. And it's the same for this one, which is considered a dangerous product that also gets deleted. So that's why we only see these 3 now, right? Good, but well, it's a start, right? Better than nothing. Also, just to show that real quick, if you make a mistake in the other direction, so you don't forget to specify a product needed for a challenge, but you basically use like here, for example, if I specify, hey, please use the OWASP product for both these challenges, right? Could try that. The config validation will nicely tell you that you can't do that. Yeah, so it tells you, hey, you're using this for 2 challenges, and that's not okay. So you always have to assign 1 challenge to 1 product, because otherwise it would just get too confusing for the users. So it's quite hard to actually break your configuration in a way that the juice shop wouldn't work any longer, because it actually parses the entire config and finds out what's wrong with it. So, okay, now we have this configuration with these products here. So the next step now could be, let's try to adjust one of these special products which are needed for a challenge, and make it actually fit into the whole Open Security Summit scheme. So if we that's not so good. If we compare these these two, so basically this is the original juice shop file, and this would be the next step. So I would like to override the OWASP product with an Open Security Summit 2020 ticket, right? With its own image and everything. And this, sorry, let's do it like this. So this URL here is basically the one that is that the juice shop expects you to override during the hacking challenge. And we can basically override this completely now with our own content. So how does that actually impact the juice shop? If we go to the scoreboard, and we enjoy the waiting animation for a moment. And to make this a little bit quicker, I will turn off some of the filters now. This is unusually long. Oh, my server didn't start. Okay, yeah, obviously that takes forever now because the server is not even running. So let's try that again. The scoreboard is a bit slow, but it's not that slow. So let's see. Here we go. So to make it a bit faster, I'm gonna hide all the challenges and only show the 3-star ones. And if I go down here, there's one challenge called product tampering. And that says change the href of the link within the OWASP product description into this URL, right? So, and what we actually want to have is we want to have here instead the Open Security Summit Ticket 2020 product description into, and then the link, this link here, right? So to the select tickets link. So this, yeah. So let's just try that out, and then we will see how that actually works. So there we go. So refreshing the scoreboard. We will now see that the product tampering asks me to override the link within the Open Security Summit ticket into www.juicesummit.org. Wow, but that's not the URL that I specified here, right? This is a different one. Okay, so then let's see how does this actually work? So if we go back to the product overview, we now have this Security Summit ticket there instead of the OWASP product. And if I open the description says get your official ticket, and then there's a more link. And this more link is actually the one that points to the Hey Summit page and where you can buy the tickets. right? And the hacking challenge is to override this URL, this one, with the URL specified in the challenges section as override URL product for product tampering challenge. And this is the juicesummit.org, right? Which I did not make up. I actually searched for Juice and Summit yesterday, and I actually found out that there is something like Juice Summit, which is just brilliant in my opinion. So, and I love the logo, to be honest. Unfortunately, it will not happen this year, but next year it will. So we will come back to this in a bit and also include it in some funny way into our theme, I guess, because why not? It combines juice and summits, so it's a perfect match. So, okay, so we now have successfully configured one of our products here to still actually work and to better match into this whole Open Security Summit idea. So we will also do the same for the Christmas Super Surprise box, right? So in the original juice shop, this is a random selection of bottles of juices, which are sold out, obviously, and not available anymore because it was a 2014 offer. Now the question is, how can we make something similar to this in the Open Security Summit? Well, what I actually did, I created an additional product here. Here I looked up for OWASP Summit 2014 because this the challenge text that you are supposed to order something from 2014, that is actually hard coded in the challenges, right? I can show you how that looks like. So if I want to have the challenge to still make sense, wait. So what difficulty is that? This one. So there's this Christmas special challenge, and the job is to order the Christmas special offer of 2014. So if we want to if you want to have this this challenge to actually make sense, so that all the challenges would still be properly solvable, this needs to have something to do still with 2014, the product that we come up with. So some Googling actually for OWASP and Summit and 2014 brought me to, I think, this page here, right? So it seems there was some Summit in Thailand in 2014 where OWASP was also involved. Of course, not the Open Security Summit because that didn't exist back then, but that's close enough in my opinion, right? So that's why I created this this thing here, and well, just copied some of the text over, and I made up a price. No idea if that actually was so expensive. So actually, we this should be fine, right? So this is now our product for the Christmas challenge. So if we copy that over to our main configuration and restart the server, actually we shouldn't see a change on the UI at all, because this is just happening behind the scenes, because this Christmas special is marked as deleted in the database anyway, so we don't see it in the product list. But we are now able to solve this hacking challenge if we somehow get this product into our shopping basket and check that shopping basket out, then we will have this challenge solved. Okay, so I will not go through the remaining two configurations for the other two special products. We will come back to this when I'm back at the slide deck and we are at the homework slide. So wait for that, please. We will continue with something slightly different now, like adding a bunch of more products, right? So what I did, I took a lot of other products from the Open Security Summit merchandise store and just dumped them into the configuration. I added a few reviews to some of them actually. So this is also quite nice. You can specify reviews for the products in this config file, and those will then be automatically appearing in the shop out of the box. And actually, it's quite good to have some reviews available, because some challenges rely on you to find out who a certain user is in the application, in order to crack their password or to find their secret answer to their password reset question. And that gets a lot easier if you also give a few hints, for example, in reviews or customer feedback. So, and this is actually what I did here. So Jim is actually James T. Kirk from Star Trek. So I made a review that is also relating a little bit to the fact that he loves spaceships. So let's paste that in and restart. And now after the refresh, this should look a little bit more like an actual web shop than before, right? So I also, just for fun, added the Juice Summit 2021 ticket, because I just love the Juice Summit idea. So it's just brilliant. So maybe Juice Shop can become a sponsor of them sometime. Okay, so, and you could just add more products from the original Summit merchandise store this way, or just come up with new ones, whatever you like. Okay, so you can have as many products if you want. The Juice Shop has something over 30 products actually by default, but if you just, I mean, maybe you want to have at least so many that your first page here is full, so like 12 products are like perfect to actually make it look a little bit more pretty. Okay, so that was that. Now there's one other interesting place in the Juice Shop that in our current Summit configuration now doesn't make so much sense anymore. If we take a look at the photo wall, you can see that there are 3 photos. One is broken, and that will always be there no matter what you do, because this photo is needed for one of the hacking challenges, right? So this broken image is actually a photo of my lovely cat, and it's badly encoded, and you need to fix the encoding to actually download the image, and that solves the challenge for you, and you see a really cute photo of my cat. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. So this is basically always there, but these 2 photos are now, again, they are now Juice Shop related again, right? So what I did, I went through the, where is it? The Summit website. Ah, come on. So I went to the Summit website, and I think they have something here somewhere like a photo gallery, which is kind of brilliant, because that's basically exactly what I need, right? So I think there was some way to actually get to the photo gallery in a better way. Did they change the site again, or was it on the pre-summit training site maybe? Well, there was actually a photo gallery page where you could see photos from past summits. Or maybe it was the 2019 webpage. Let's see. Maybe it was this one here. Yeah, so this is the 2019 Security Summit page, and that has a photo gallery link. And there we have lots of lovely photos, right over here. And it's almost as if they stole the idea from the Juice Shop with these overlays with some description. So now it's payback time, and we steal photos from here, and we also steal the text. So I already prepared a little bit of that by just taking some of the photos and just pasting them into the configuration for the Security Summit theme. And that looks like like this. So I added 4 photos actually, right? So with the original texts, and I gave them, assigned them to some users who were then supposed to have posted these photos. And again, it works the same way like with every other image. In this config, if you supply a URL, the juice shop will go there, download that file, and put it into the right directory to then show it in the application. So if we paste this here and again do a restart, let's restart this again here. Yeah, that's it. And we refresh the photo gallery page or the photo wall page. We will now have 4 photos from the actual security summit, I think from 2018, with the original text. The way that's readable, not so nicely readable down here is, so this text is more optimized for the dark layout. So maybe we need to fix this so that the overlay here is then white, and or the text needs to be white or something. So that is a small thing, but it's actually the original text that we just copied from the summit page, right? Okay, so what else could we do? Yeah, the juice shop also has a lovely feature called the Hacking Instructor. So if we are on the scoreboard, you might notice there are some challenges with this little icon next to them. And these are the ones where the hacking instructor is actually, where some hacking instructor script is helping you to actually solve those. So let me just click one of these, and then you see, here, there's a little lovely pop-up, and the hacking instructor is now telling you what to do, right? Okay, it's telling me to log out, and then it gives me some advice what to do next, and it will basically help me to solve some of the easier challenges. But as you see here, the logo or the avatar for this hacking instructor is now still some juice shop bot logo with a face mask, because it's a pandemic situation, so you have to be careful. And we actually can override that with something more summit style too, right? What I actually did, I went to the Hey Summit page, and and there was for a while there were some arbitrary speakers with these chilies, but they removed them, unfortunately. But that doesn't really matter, because they still have some lovely image that I found very, very nice to use for the hacking instructor, and that is this random person, right? So this no picture provided thing. So it's actually from Hey Summit and not from the Open Security Summit team, but never mind, we just will grab it and use it in our own theme then. So, and then this is actually pretty simple. I just have this additional section for the hacking instructor that has an avatar image property, and I overrode that with this with the URL to this lovely image here. And I think I just accidentally closed my juice shop project. Okay, so let's restart. And let's see if that also works. So there we go. Let's go to the scoreboard. Let's launch a tutorial and oh no, did it not? Ah, too bad. Okay, so this is something that sometimes happens. So it's basically a problem with asynchronous things happening here. So it seems that the file download for this avatar image wasn't fast enough before the application was already initialized. So it doesn't happen often, but sometimes it actually does. And in many cases, it's just a matter of starting the server again, and then it should be gone. So let's try that again. No more error message. Okay. And as you can see now, this friendly face is our hacking instructor for the tutorial challenges. Okay. So last but not least, I just have added a few more things basically for the final touch. So there are some things in the juice shop, some challenges in the juice shop that actually where it's nice to actually override some content. It might not be so interesting for awareness trainings because you mostly will not get to these challenges during simple introduction sessions or something like that. But I will still show those. So there's one page where there's one page in the juice shop which offers a Bitcoin-like cryptocurrency, and you can overwrite the name of that currency. There's also a metrics page in the juice shop where you can find technical information about the system, which we will take a look into in the integration session in 1.5 hours roughly. And then there's also a recycle page where you can ask for boxes to be sent to you so you can send back your some of the recyclable products. So if we just log in again, then I can just show you that recycle page real quick. You can find it here under amount, orders and payment, recycle. And you see that here it just loads 2 of the juice shop images, right? So we can override this with images that we have in our configuration. The thing is, here you don't specify URLs. Here you should specify actually the name of the file that was already downloaded as a product, because then you actually get you don't have to download it twice, right? So if I paste that over here, and restart the server one more time. And hit refresh. Well, that's what we get, right? So it's now, and now it makes even more sense with the tree hugging comment. So we actually plant a tree and we request a recycling box and everything looks more consistent, right? So that's basically where we where the demo part now stops. So this is pretty consistent new theme now that looks like it could actually be something coming from the Security Summit team. And it actually works. There are still some things that might be improved. For example, changing these last few products, which are challenge related, into something that actually fits into the whole theme. We could also add a few more products and all that, but all in all, I guess this is quite a consistent theme now. So basically that's what we got. Now, before I come to the homework part, are there any questions, ideas, feedback, anything from the participants? I see nothing in the chat. So, okay, no problem. So let's then go into the presentation mode one more time. So the theme in this final version that I just showed is already part of the JuShop distribution of the latest one. But we could actually improve it a bit more. So, and this is what this homework slide is for. First of all, we could actually add a few more regular products, like just this is mostly copy and paste from the merchandise store. So that's pretty simple. The JuShop has a security TXT file, which is used to contact the security team in case you find a vulnerability. Haha. That can also be customized. The JuShop also has a quite nice Easter egg, which is an animated 3D planet. I can just quickly show that. So, spoiler alert, if you don't want the challenge spoiler, then don't watch now. So this is basically our Easter egg challenge. So you get a 3D animated JavaScript-based planet with an orange texture on top, right? Because it's a juice thing. And the planet's name is Planet Orange Juice. Well, how funny is that? And of course, you can also customize this. So the default section in the JuShop config has, there we go. Oh, my computer is melting down from the 3D graphics here. Let's close it. So there are sections for all this. For the Easter egg planet, you can customize the name of the planet and you can customize the texture that is put over the world, the Earth picture, basically. So can be anything. So let me just open that and you see. So this is basically the texture that is put over there by default, right? And you can override that in your custom theme with something different. The security TXT file also again contains some contact information, some other things, and that can also be overwritten. And there's also a challenge, and yeah, I listed that down here. So this is then these things are all quite easy, and then there are some harder things to customize. So the JuShop comes with a promotion video with a matching subtitles file. And one of the hacking challenges is to inject cross-site scripting into the subtitles file, or to basically override the subtitles file with something that then causes cross-site scripting, which is a pretty nasty challenge. And customizing that to something different is a bit more work, actually, right? And the same goes for this retrieve blueprint challenge, because there you are actually supposed to place a file that the attacker is supposed to download, but actually the product image itself should contain some hint on what kind of file this is about and where you might actually find it. And for the leaked unsafe product challenge, you even need some kind of paste bin where you put some information that you can use to actually find out information about this unsafe product. So that's why this is really a bit more difficult and more work if you want to make this consistent. You can find examples for these where I actually did this in the Mozilla and 7-minute security themes. I think except for the promotion videos, those are not configured anywhere or not overwritten anywhere. Yeah, and that's basically what you could do. So if you want to improve this theme in one of the easy or one of the hard ways, you can just go to the Juice Shop repository over on GitHub. You just fork the project, clone it locally, check it out, and then you will find the OSS YAML right here in the config folder. You can add more products, or you can do one of the other homework exercises and then just send a pull request to, and I will then check it and merge it, and then we will have an even better custom theme than we have right now. But the one we have right now is still not bad, I guess. Okay. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being interested in the theming features of the Juice Shop. If there are any questions left, then please feel free to ask now. We'll stop my screen share.
No questions. Just want to say thank you very much for the excellent presentation. Really enjoyed it.
You're welcome. I hope you can make good use of it, maybe for your own corporate theme or something like that as well.
All right. Any questions? So there are no questions for this session today. If there are no more questions, then I'm going to end the recording. Is it fine now, Bjoern?
That's good.
All right. Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
So thank you all for joining. Have a great day. Thank you, Bjoern, for this wonderful session. And looking forward to your next section in an hour. Okay.
Thanks.